Hey everybody, this is Lisa, proud owner of Body Soul Training, and welcome back to our program, The Inner Life of Fitness, where we share inspiring stories to help ignite your inner and outer strength. And as you can see, I have a special guest today. We're at her house. She's my fellow chicken mama. That's us with our baby chicks from last year. She's a dear, long friend, soul sister friend. She's never ending energy. Please welcome to the show, my dear friend, Tammy Anderson, Monahan.
Thank you, Lisa. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I didn't know you could dance like that.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can move, but I can't dance. It's different.
A lot of, when I asked Tammy to be on the show, she said, why me? You got no one else to be on the show. I'm bottom of the barrel.
True.
And I said, no, you have always been. And sometimes the people in your life that are so close to you, you just don't recognize how awesome and amazing they are. And I think I do say that to her, but I have people on the show to share their inspiring story. And I've known Tammy since high school, and I've always been amazed by how she just, has this ending amount of energy, loyal friendship, just an amazing human person. So, when I made my list of guests, she was one of them. So I'm so excited you're on the show.
Well, thank you for saying that. Thank you for having me.
All right,
I'm honored.
We're not going to cry today. So for our viewers, you don't know Tammy like I do. So I want to share a little bit. Tammy, you went to Cumberland High School like me.
I did.
We graduated class of 89. I think we have a really unique, awesome class.
I think so too. Yeah. A lot of people stayed in touch, and a lot of common interests in the class. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So then Tammy went on to Syracuse, and you studied exercise science there.
Actually, I studied economics.
Oh my gosh. That's right. I forgot you studied economics.
Yeah.
How did you land up into the fitness world? Because now and we'll get to that, you're an amazing physical education teacher. And I say physical education. Do not use the word gym. It is an education. How did you get into what drove you that way?
Okay, so I did go to school for economics and was in the finance world in Boston for a year. And every day on my way to work, I would pass a fitness studio, look inside, see everybody working out, and I'd get to work and people would ask me, how do you stay fit? Oh, you're training for a marathon. They would ask me all these questions about fitness. And I started thinking, why am I coming here, passing something that makes me passionate, coming here and giving advice to people, and it has nothing to do with finance or economics. So I kind of changed tracks and stayed with that company while I went back to school and got a degree in exercise science. Actually, at UMass Boston, it was called Human Performance and Fitness, which is kind of a neat title because it's sort of descriptive and links that physical education into it.
And that's awesome. You've always been into fitness. Let's dive into that a little bit. But first, I want to talk about, you're also a beautiful mom who looks amazing and has 3 beautiful children. You wouldn't guess it, right? She looks like she's 21.
Oh,
like,
that's so
amazing.
Sweet.
So fitness definitely.
The gray hair.
So she's an awesome mom of You want to show a family picture? I actually say she's a mother of 4. Her husband is probably the biggest child that you have, right?
He would be here agreeing with you, I think.
Yeah, I think he would be.
Proudly.
Yes.
He's not growing up. I think the message there is that he's also not growing up.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit more, and you've been a role model for your children. Fitness has always, since I've known you, you've been active, you played sports, but what inspired you to want to do fitness, and why do you do fitness?
I can't really think back to when I started, except that in middle school, the opportunity to run was, the only thing that we really had at school. I always did things with my family. My mom signed us up for sports. We were on swim teams when we were little. So I've always been involved in exercise. Mm-hmm. And I really kind of have been running since 6th grade. Mm-hmm. And I'm really lucky because I'm one of those people that can do it and not get injured, knock on wood, because I'm still doing it. And I hope that I don't have to stop. But sorry to the dog, because I was knocking at the door.
We love live. Tammy shouldn't have knocked on wood. She just went the dog.
Sorry about that. Okay. Just a little. So I've always been into exercise, and I think for me, just making time for it has always been important.
Yeah. So I got to say our age, right? We graduated class of 89. So, we're both 50.
Not yet.
That's right.
September.
Right. Okay, sorry.
I'm still 49.
So
hanging on to my 40s.
I've had this dialogue with previous guests, and what amazes me is you say, "Oh yeah, I do fitness. I've been a runner. I thank goodness I haven't been injured." But that's 30 years ago. That's 40 years ago. What have you had hard times to where why have you kept on track, and what motivates you to stay on track? Because I think you're in the best shape of your life. You've always been in shape, right? You have 3 adult children, and one's a senior in high school. What's your secret?
Making time, keeping time, making exercise a priority in my life. That is truly if there's a secret in my formula, that is it. I go to bed at night and I think, what time do I have to wake up to make sure I get whatever type of exercise in that I'm scheduled to do that next day? And I say scheduled, I make it up myself. I don't have a formula that I'm following, although I am right now training for a half marathon. So I'm trying to run more than I have been in the past. But I literally go to bed and wonder, do I have to wake up at 5:30? Do I have to wake up at 6? Do I have to wake up at 6:30? What am I doing in the afternoon if I'm not going to exercise in the morning? I make sure I have set aside time for exercise.
What is
every day?
Why? What is it? Does it feed your soul? Does it help you with stress? So why?
I think, it definitely feeds my soul. I wouldn't normally use that expression, but I feel like when I'm exercising, it's the one, no, I'm not that selfless. I shouldn't say that, but it's definitely the time in my day where I am thinking specifically about myself.
Wow.
And just myself. It's not that my mind isn't thinking about things in my life, but I know at that time I am dedicated to my own health.
Wow.
And I'm not thinking about, or I'm not going to the supermarket and filling the pantry for everybody or whatever. It's something that is specific to my health and my needs. So I make sure it's a priority.
That's I'm speechless, because that is why, and if you don't take care of you, you're not good for anybody else.
Yeah.
You're not good for, your parents or your sisters or your family or your cousins, or mainly your kids and your work and your children. And you're a physical education teacher. And I'm also a physical education. I have a certification in that, but I've gone down the path of want to be, work with many age groups in personal training. So we do similar things, but I think our youth is so lucky to have someone like Tammy share with us what made you want to become a physical education teacher. Because I love working with people, but I have to tell you, our youth need that direction. I don't know if I could work with youth. I find as I get older, I just don't have the patience. And It's not a bad thing. What inspired you to want to become a physical education teacher?
Well, I think that's a really fun picture from, let's see, it's probably a couple years old. You can see my partner in that picture. That's Kim Parker. I don't know if she's watching this or not, but hi, Kim. Kim actually also went to Cumberland High School.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, we worked together in North Attleboro. So I actually was a personal trainer for several years. And when my kids were little, and I found I enjoyed the teaching part of it. And I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but I really liked giving people the tools that they needed to exercise, the information they needed about their fitness, about how to maintain a regimen. I liked that part. I liked designing their programs. What I couldn't do as a trainer was have people come back and not have done what I suggested. So I don't believe you have less patience because you work with adults. I actually think that takes a different level of patience.
Oh, wow.
And I commend you for it, because I was ready to okay, here's what you should do. And I would like to set you free. And I was kind of giving adults too much, too much of their own, I don't know what the word is I'm trying to say, but I was putting the onus on them too soon. And I was finding myself not feeling successful,
Mhm.
and I was losing patience with adults. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
you should give yourself more
Oh,
credit,
thank
because you
you.
really
Never thought
have
about it
what I
that way.
never had as a trainer. And I really
Yeah.
think that, your clients are extremely lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you're in theory a trainer to these children. What I love about your, because we've talked about how you teach your children, and what Tammy brings to the children is fun. A lot of times, in academic settings, you get stuck on curriculum, and you need to fit curriculum. I think you and Cam make a great team, but B, you bring so much fun into it, and me and your girlfriends here, girlfriends right here, we can attest to that. There's like 11 of us that have been friends since middle school. We go, and Tammy is just that silent fun that
Silent.
that uplifts everybody, and it's silent, and she's just so loving, so caring, so passionate, and you bring that to your children. And I just think that's so important for the future generation. School systems focus on math and English, but there's so much more to the human body.
Yeah.
Right?
I have to say, just as a like a little piece of info about what happened this past year during COVID. Everybody knows, even if you don't have kids in the school system, know that we were tasked with teaching kids in an at-home setting, which we've never done before. Well, the opportunity for us as phys ed teachers was awesome, because here we are putting together workouts or lessons that we wanted the kids to do when they were at home. The goal was obviously to get them to do it twice a week, and hopefully that when they were at home, that's what they were doing. But the benefit was, which was this unpredicted benefit, was that the parents were doing the workouts with the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we would get, we didn't get a ton of emails about it, but if we got just one, that was enough. That the parents were so grateful for the routines that we were giving them and the choices that the kids had, that the parents were doing these workouts with their kids. And so that's really fun, because like you've said before, how I raised 3 kids and we always did activities together, the skiing pictures in the background. If you can do it with your kids, first of all, that's an opportunity for you to get the time that you might not otherwise have had. And then also it's you being a good role model to your kids. Okay. So we were really lucky to be able to send some of that stuff home and have parents working out, doing our lessons with their kids at home. So it was really a good benefit. So COVID didn't suck for everybody. It does suck for everybody. The implications of COVID haven't been horrible for all of us.
And that's just, you're just awesome and amazing. And again, do you agree, viewers? She needed to be on the show to share the story, and everybody that has been on the show just comes at it from a different angle. And I think, Tammy, you being so humble about it, but just hearing that positivity, it was like, well, yeah, COVID is horrible, but you always make. Remember that video we did? I wish I had that video. You always make lemonade out of lemons. Always. And so Tammy and I, during COVID, when it first happened, she's my go-to girl. Like, Tammy, I got to do the video.
I say yes. You're hard to say no to,
yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah. So I was like, I had this idea. I want to do a video. And the same as you. And I didn't realize, I know the challenge of your teaching and during COVID, but I didn't realize that's so cool that you also inspired and brought families together during a time that was very challenging. So, I reached out to Tammy during COVID and I said, I want to do a video, because my mission is I want to bring laughter, light, exercise to viewers. So we offered free exercises. So one day we dressed up and Tammy and I pretended that we didn't have any clothes on. We had a robe.
I think the viewers probably all saw it.
Oh, okay. Well, you can check out Facebook. You can check out Body Soul. And if you really want to see it, I'll re-air it.
Repost it. It was so good.
We're sitting here interviewing. It's like, I think we find humor in it because it was funny. So, what's your, you're going to be an empty nester after a year.
You said don't cry on this.
What's your future? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to do a half marathon. What else are you going to do?
Well, I'm just going to keep doing what I do. Like in the summers, I'm lucky enough to be a teacher who has the summers off, and my kids are extremely independent. So I don't see that next year is going to look too much different. except for that I won't have anybody living with me except my husband, my oldest child.
Anybody want a husband?
Or any kids need a home.
Oh, sorry. Any kid need a home? Anybody want a husband?
Yeah, that's not
just
okay. So no, it'll probably look a lot like it does now. I spend more time outside in the summer than most people are lucky to, and I will just keep doing my workouts.
So I want to go back to Chicken Mama quick, and then I want to talk about your food choices and stuff. Do you have that Chicken Mama picture? So during COVID, we also tried to entertain each other. Tammy doesn't live too far from me, and she was like, Kanoya, that's my nickname. I've always wanted chickens. So we ordered 10 chicks, and there they are right there. And
Can I just say for a second, you found someone and got like 4 grown chickens.
So wait. No,
so this was not as
someone paid me for training with 4 chickens.
So this was like the start to it.
Yeah.
The mistake was we brought my daughter along to pick up the chickens, and she thought we were going to get little tiny baby chicks.
Yeah.
So on the ride home with these 4, large-ish chickens, Lisa ordered 10 chicks off the internet.
Yeah, and we didn't know what they were, but I want to talk about.
And I hadn't planned on raising them,
so she doesn't have a coop. So when I talked about your never-ending energy, so I pull up one day to drop off some chicken feed and get her ready, and I'm just gonna come down like this. I'm like, Tammy, where are you? And she's like, she's building a coop. I swear to God, she's building a chicken coop. For those of you who,
out of scraps, I needed to do it.
Oh yeah, you didn't pay a dime for it. You found pieces of wood. I wish I had
old tables and stuff. Yeah.
Your love of life, and I know you've had hard times. Let's talk. I don't want to go into that. I'm going to make you cry. So let's talk about your food choices. A lot of times our viewers and any people that I hear, they'll see on social media. They're looking at you, they're looking at me, and they're like, oh, it's easy for them. It's easy for them. You talk about you found that fitness to exercise. That's your time. That's your time. It's so important to have your time. At the end of the day, it's about you, and it's not selfish at all. You're a better person and a better human being in the world. But you're also not going to look like this unless you make good food choices. Like what are your food choices, and what advice could you give for our viewers? Like what do you eat? Do you drink water? Like
I'm not really too, my diet, if you want to call it that, is about balance. I'm going to attribute that to being a Libra. I totally believe in the science of what comes in must go out. If I plan on, and vice versa, if I plan on doing a certain amount of exercise, I'm going to fuel my body so that I can do that exercise. So for me, I have a balance. If I cheat, meaning like I eat really crappy one day, the next day I plan to do a little more exercise than I did because I want to burn off the calories that I took in. So for me, my diet is about balance, and I do eat well. And I've been accused by my kids I'm a very boring eater. I don't love food. Although I do love candy, and that's my downfall. So whenever I need to snap back into a certain shape, or I feel like I'm getting thick in certain places, I just don't eat candy for a little while because I'm kind of into the sugar. But I just eat well, and I eat enough. That's my secret. And don't mistake my, burning off the calories for punishing myself, because it's not really like that. I do have a healthy relationship with food. I definitely do. But I do know that if I want to, eat something, that I'm going to feel that, and it's not a guilt. I don't feel guilty about it. It's just my body doesn't feel right. The next day, to set myself back, I just do a little more exercise. That's how it works.
Awesome. Tammy, thank you.
And I do have to say that I have very healthy kids, so they don't let me buy crap anymore. Like
really?
If I buy cookies, Colin's like, you're sabotaging my diet. One of the things I've loved all my life is baking. I love the science behind it, and I love the feeling. I'm one of those people that watches the Great British Baking Show and cries at least three times each episode, because I know the feeling you give someone when you bake something delicious. Well, I bake it, and then I don't really eat that much of it. My kids are always like, you're sabotaging our diet. My husband's like, you can't make that stuff if you're not going to eat it. But I don't know. It's so we don't have a lot of crap in the house because my kids eat really healthy. So
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
That's
And we
awesome.
also don't have discipline. So if I do have crap in the house, we eat it all at once.
So I hope my viewers hear this, and it kind of plays out along with all my past guests. Is you can't just wish for something. And my show is based on making a difference in your life, positive difference through fitness. And then that's my mantra. There's many different ways to get there. But if you want to get there, you have to want to, and then you have to do. You can't hold on to crystals and be like, okay, make me thinner or make me feel better. And I've had people on the show who have had physical, luckily you and I don't. And to hear different approaches, and there are different approaches. And I think the only wrong way is to not have a healthy relationship with food, or to not try. And if you're not sure how to try, reach out to a professional. And like I said, our children need more physical education teachers like Tammy Anderson Monahan right here, because that's where it starts. And so I just want to thank you.
Can I give one pointer?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is something that I always try to tell people, parents, moms especially, when you have that, and probably your viewers don't have a lot of these, maybe they're not moms of young kids, but pass it on to your friends and whomever, that finding the time, like I said earlier, about finding the time to exercise and be healthy. Don't feel selfish about dropping your kid off at their sport and using that hour for your own exercise. Don't feel like you have to watch them practice. Don't spend an hour in the car driving them back and forth. Drive them to, use that time to exercise, and then bring them home. But if you're not setting aside or planning that time for yourself and your exercise, then you will absolutely lose the time in the day. The day will go by and you will have had not 30 minutes to yourself. And there's the other pointer. I said I was just going to give one. Here's the second one. You don't need a lot of time. 30 minutes. Yeah, like I don't say I'm going to get up at 5:30 in the morning because I want to do 2 hours of exercise.
Yeah.
30 minutes. Just try to find an intensity that you're comfortable with, but be intense about it. Don't just, don't lollygag through it. Don't just watch the clock. Be intense. If you have only a short amount of time, do it. Be intense about it. But make the time, find the time, and commit to it because it is really important.
Great piece of advice. I totally agree. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for coming on my show. I really appreciate it. And I hope our viewers got some awesome inspiration from Tammy. And if you're not sure how to start and you do want to get a game plan, reach out to me, Lisa at bodysoultraining.com. I'll give you a free consultation.
She's number one.
Yeah, I love you.
I do send people to you. I have to say, I am, like I said about her patience, I mean, you should definitely send people her way. She is an amazing trainer.
Well, when I asked you to be on the show, I felt COVID kind of helped jumpstart this. This was a goal of mine to share inspiring stories and to show people at any age that it can be done. But it's just not going to happen. You have to first want to do it, and then you have to have a plan. And then there's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. You're going to have a bad meal, but it doesn't define you. And I just, I'm bringing this program, Inner Life of Fitness, to be that voice for those that maybe can't come to me. And I may not be the right person for everybody, and I'm okay with that, as long as you're doing something to help you. And that's what we're about, right? Yeah.
Good for you.
So thank you, Tammy, for being on the show. I hope my viewers enjoyed your story today. I know I did. You learn. Stop and listen to your friends. I seriously, Tammy has helped me personally through my life. And I just want to thank you and say I love you.
Love you too.
Say you love somebody when you appreciate them, right? So to my guests, listen, we're taking the month of August off. Body Soul is going to take a little R&R, but we will be back in September to share some more inspiring stories. So until next time, enjoy your August. Take time for you. Remember, take one day at a time. Drink more water. Breathe, and don't be so hard on yourself. This is Lisa from Body Soul Training, the Inner Life of Fitness. Thank you, everybody. Peace and love.
That was so good.